We
Maybe
are
next time.
live.
Yeah. What's up,
Episode
man?
number 95.
Yeah, we've been gone for a little bit.
This time it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Shant, on the arrival of his second child. This one
Thank you.
is not a a jungle cat. This one is an actual
Human, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the little girl.
Yeah, so it's been interesting has it been 3 weeks? Yeah, 3.5 weeks. We had our baby girl, Zila, right? I'm not gonna give you the height, weight. I don't remember. So
If I had to guess, maybe 8 pounds.
because I never got that. They're like, oh my God, well, like, what does it matter with the weight? And I don't understand the significance of it. It's like, oh, mine was 7.7. Oh, yours was 7. It's like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Like, what is it, like an indicator of health? How heavy they were born? I was
Yeah.
11 pounds. Does that mean anything to you?
They're still jackasses. It's all that matters, right? So yeah, that's been going on, man. Just trying to adjust, get back at work.
Did you take any time off for work?
Yeah, it took 2 weeks, like home. I still showed a couple of houses here and there, got a deal,
Squeeze
but
those
like,
in, didn't you?
yeah, like real quick, but all in all, my team that I help coach and stuff, they were pretty cool. I mean, they hit me up here and there, like questions, but it was nothing. It was good to be home, but I was ready to go back to work.
You were like the doctor that's on call, just kind of like checking his pager. Like, yeah, one sec. All right, yeah, I have a kid. So Zila, tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about Zila. Tell
So
us what she's like.
she's pretty rude and mean.
I like that.
Just has a stank face, like most of the time, just attitudey. Like she looks at you like she's like judging you. Like so when you come see her, she has this look like she's judging your face. Like she has like a kind of look like what?
I love that.
So that's going to be interesting to see how she gets older. Leo, I think, finally acknowledged that she's here.
I was going to ask you about this. I was going to ask you all about Leo. I was going to turn this whole Zila thing into Leo discussion because Leo he's the man. Leo is a good guy. And so anyway, long story short though. So Zila was born a couple weeks ago. You guys have been home. You've been home from work. You just went back into work last week. Can you tell us a little bit about what that whole having a second kid was like? Was this all muscle memory to you? Can you tell me a little bit about what maybe having the first one taught you about the second one? Some things that were like they happened like clockwork, or like you knew to keep it in the back of your mind type of thing. I have like a lot of, I'm curious. I'm very curious to know how being a dad, but like not being a white dad is like.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So as far as like muscle memory, yeah, like wasn't, you go into the hospital. So we had planned C-section, different than natural birth. So both were like that. So we're rolling up to the hospital a little bit more like, yep, where's our room? Like get us in, rather than like last time we were like, oh my God, right? Like what's going on? So that was part of that. I was a little bit more nervous this time, weirdly.
Why?
Before the procedure for Betty, because it's a major surgery, right? Like they're opening her up, right? I don't know, weirdly, and I didn't even tell her yet about it. Like it was, they're prepping her, they're doing all this stuff. I'm sitting there, it's like all of them, right? It's nothing. I'm just sitting there like, here if you guys need me, like just in the back. And I don't know, because I guess we have a kid, so I was just like, what ifs, right? There's a lot of what ifs. You're like, hey, they're making you sign stuff, look at stuff. Like, what if something goes wrong with Betty, right? I didn't know the significance of, obviously I did, but it was more like shit. Like I can't do this on my own, bro. Like, like she needs to. She
We
needs to
need you
come.
out there, Bet.
Yeah. Can't deal with Leo on my own, man. Like I need backup. So it was,
Kid's a terrorist.
yeah. So it was a weird feeling because the last with Leo, I wasn't really nervous because I didn't know what to expect. So we get in, they take her in first, then they call. So the first time, so what they do is they take Betty, the mom, back. They get her prepped for surgery, and then when they're ready to open her up and pull the baby out, they call you in, right? But they have you wear a gown and everything, right? Like you have to wear all the stuff. So the last time with Leo, I'm sitting there, I'm like texting people, just like hanging out. They come in like, all right, they're ready. Let's go. You got to go. And I'm like, oh, I didn't wear my stuff yet. They're like, put it on. They're doing it right now. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, and I told Betty that, and they had to like wait a little bit for me to get there. This time I was, ready, zipped up, ready to go. Got the hat on.
Got a foam hand.
I had the phone camera.
It says go Zila.
I had the phone camera ready, like, just like it was on the camera already. Like people are calling on like ignore, just like ready to go, right? So great. We get back there. So they have like a sheet to cover her stomach and stuff. And I just see Betty's face and we're just sitting there. Well, she's laying and the what do you call it? What's the person? The
midwife.
No. The anesthesiologist. He's there, right? He's that back there. He was on Instagram, like fucking just Instagram, and he was like a Arab guy. He's like, "Oh, I take good care of you guys. Take good care." And he's just on. I could tell he's on Instagram scrolling, like while he's sitting there. I'm like, all right,
shawarma. Yeah. Beirut. Oh, delicious, man.
And he was like, like late 20s. You know the type I'm talking about, right? Like just sleaze, like. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's funny you said from Lebanon. He looked like that too. And then we know once they're like, okay, we're ready. They pull the baby out. You hear the crying. Like that's the sign that like there's crying. You're like, all right, the baby's here, right? So they're like, all right, we're pulling her because we heard that with Leo, and he started crying. And then I don't hear any crying. And me and Betty's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, and it was like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. We're like, and then the doctors are like talking. He's like, yeah, I can't get my Tesla ordered, like, and he's like, they're laughing. He's like, it's all on back order. And I'm like, it seems like it's okay. I'm like, like I got one if you just get, like, and I was just like, to Betty, I was like, I think it's okay because they're laughing. Like it seems safe because I would figure if something's wrong that you'd hear okay, like you'd hear a little panic, but they're talking about Tesla orders and they're laughing. So
are you fucking kidding me? They were actually talking about Tesla.
Yeah, the back order. He's waiting on back order.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So baby comes out, and the first time, so with Leo. So I'm in, like, as soon as the baby comes out, it's like, it's dad. Like, that's when the dad's job is ready, right? Because Betty doesn't hold her right away. Like, they're still surgically working on her. So I'm like, I have to be present. I'm the first one to hold him and her, right? And then it's like the shots, the vaccines, the eye stuff, this, that. And you as the dad have to be like, okay, you're giving this, you're giving that. Okay. Because when you go to a doctor, like their first checkup, they're like, okay, just to confirm you took these shots. The first time with Leo, I wasn't paying attention. I figured they know what they're doing, right? They do this often. They're like, all right. Yeah. And then Betty's like, hey, which shots did they give him? I was like, yeah, I don't know. They
all of them. They just came with like 6 different ones. They got him. They got him.
Seems like they knew, but she's like, no, because she's like, they're giving him an extra shot now. And I don't know, like it was a lot of confusion. So Betty was like, pay fucking attention. What's going on?
Gotcha.
So
We'll
I
do.
was very like prepped this time. I had my gown on, the phone on, the camera. I had a checklist in my mind. They're like, all right, we gave him the vitamin 12 shot, this vaccine, the eye drop. I was like, cool. And then they're like grabbing her foot to do the footprint. And I was like, oh, what do you, okay, footprint. Go ahead. All right.
Got it. Okay.
Betty, footprint's good. Don't got that. So,
oh shit, I love it.
So,
all right, so basically, you have to keep track of all this. You have to keep track of all like the what crazy shit did they do?
Yeah. If you don't want to get yelled at by your wife, yeah, you definitely want to keep track.
Okay, so that's all cool. How long did it take until you guys were out of the hospital?
We stayed there 2 nights.
2 nights. What the fuck do you do for 2 nights? Do you order like Domino's? Do you watch movies? What do you do for 2 nights?
So Betty's trying to rest, right? She can't even walk. Yeah, like she's trying to recover. I'm like in this room. So do you remember my story the day of? I posted my Instagram story.
I'm trying to remember. No.
It was the chair. And I was like, this is my bed.
Then you got a cot. Yep.
So I had like 10, 20 messages from guys who were like, what the hell? How'd you get that? You piece of shit. Like, and I'm like, why is everyone mad? Because all dads have to sleep on that chair.
On the chair.
It's not like, me. No. Like it didn't happen with Leo. It's not happening. It didn't happen with Zila. And everyone's like, how did you get it? I was like, I fucking asked. Like, I was like, hey, where's their cot? They're like, and this time, first time they were cool with it. This time they're like, well, we're running low. And I'm like, okay, understandable, but I can't sleep on this. I have a back problem. We're going to need a cot. And they're like, let me see what I can do. But they're like, but make sure you keep your door closed so the other dads don't see it. I was like, no problem.
You knew exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, I was like, no problem. I'll close the door. Not a big deal. No one will see it. So that's one thing, a tip for dads, ask for a cot. So I slept pretty good, right?
Give the nurse $20, quick little $20 tip. Yeah. Not that they need it on their fucking $100,000 salaries. Just like grease them up a little bit, little gas money for you, sweetheart. It cost me $100 to fill up.
Don't worry, take it. Just shh. But yeah, so I got a lot of shit for that. I got a lot of heat from a lot of dads.
So that's a thing. As a dad, you're gonna sleep on a chair for a couple of days.
Not Shant. Nope.
I'm happy to hear that. I wonder what my dad slept on.
Your dad probably slept on a king mattress.
He got, yeah.
They probably were like, they got him a similar bed to your mom. Like they're like, all right, you could have one too.
He knew the prince of the hospital. That's fantastic. Yeah. What was Leo up to this whole time? What was he doing? Who was taking care of him?
So Betty's mom, my mother-in-law, was here. She stayed at her house. She's still here. And so she stayed, watched him. We would FaceTime him. He was kind of upset over FaceTime. Like we weren't there. He's like, why are you FaceTiming me? Like, what is this?
Yeah. He's confused.
Yeah. I would come home like during the day to shower. They had a shower there, but I'm not showering there. So I would come home, shower, get some stuff, get food, take it there, right? Like takeout or whatever. And so we could eat. But yeah, in the mornings, I'd get up, go for a walk, go grab some coffee somewhere, not in the hospital, like just go. And yeah, it was pretty enjoyable, man.
Side note, is that a lion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leo's, yeah. There's a bunch just all over the house.
Love it.
It's weird because it's like, I can't sit in a fucking room, bro, for like, it's like a 12 by 12 room. I can't sit there for 2 days.
Do you think that you have ADHD?
I don't think so.
So why can't you just sit in the room?
I don't know. Maybe.
But do you concentrate? Are you able to concentrate easily?
Sometimes, maybe.
Okay, so speaking of lions scattered throughout the house, can you tell us a little bit about, because this is what I'm very, very interested in. I realized at one point you guys were talking about the book Raising Lions, and that's a book that you were about to start reading. This is after Leo.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Leo has been reacting to all this and how you have been interacting with Leo because of all of this? And has that started to become like a thing yet?
Yeah. So raising lions. So the book was actually not about raising kids into lions. Was if you have a lion kid to raise them to be like normal, like not to be like all fucking crazy, right? So that was the premise of the book. Um, just so you know, and got some good tips from there. So Leo, right? We come home. Leo was kind of like off put, like, hey, we're here. You've been gone 2 days. Like, okay, he was playing a little hard to get, right? He sees Zila and he's just like, he thought she was a toy, I think, at first. Like, he's like rubbing it, just like no clue. And then he started getting a little weird because Betty was carrying her a lot, and he just was like, "What's going on?" So I don't know if you saw the video where he punched her.
I did. I play that like every few days. I go to Betty's Instagram profile and
Yeah.
it's saved there. I'll just play it. Just if I'm having a bad day, I'll play it. I'll play that and I'll play at Sako's at Leo's christening with him.
Oh, that clip that you sent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
that
that one was classic.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been weird. The thing he does with her is he goes up to her and he like pokes her nose and then he laughs and he runs. That's the only communication they both have with each other is he pokes her nose and runs and laughs. Like
Hard?
no, just like a little like a little touch, like I don't know what he's thinking.
That's his love language?
Yeah. So what I've been doing with him is I've spent a lot of time with him when I was home. So like I would take him a lot, like me and him, take him to the grocery store, take him to like the play place, just me and him. So he got really attached to me these past like 2-3 weeks. So we've been making an effort, Betty now too, with like she takes him to his room and like plays with him by himself, like just them two, right? Just so he knows that like still the one-on-one, he's getting the one-on-one connection so he doesn't feel left out.
So it's more doing things one-on-one as opposed to a whole unit where you guys are giving your attention to Zila, but he's just present.
Yeah. And it's like, we tried the whole, hey, here, like you can't force the, like here. And I don't know what we're doing, if we're doing it right or wrong, right? We don't have enough evidence yet to see, but we're like, let's spend one-on-one quality time with him, each of us, just so he still feels like, okay, he's not left out, because he's going to feel it more than her.
Until she becomes of age.
Yeah. And then we're all screwed.
Pretty much. The thing with Leo though is that boys, they always have an advantage, it seems like. It seems like girls don't get the attention from like uncles and like older cousins more than as much as guys do. Those situations and middle child situations suck.
Yeah.
Right now, one of my favorite little guys, Maria's middle child, Meher, is going through that because they got a little brother and they got the big brother. And he's been middle childed a lot lately.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it. I've been watching it. And he's been taking it exactly how you could imagine a middle child would take it. Just crying.
Yeah, yeah. It needs attention.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not easy, man. So I think that Leo in a couple years will get all that attention back. Leo's going to be a spoiled little brat when
Well,
he
I
gets
don't know. So Zila's gonna have her. She's gonna have her aunts out here.
understandable. Understandable. But then the fact that Leo, because she's gonna have so many of her aunts, you guys are gonna be doing extra shit to
Yeah,
make sure he knows that like we love you too, you know? So like he's just gonna be he's so fucking cute. So like
he
so
is. It's so he's starting school next month.
what's that gonna be like? Is that like do you guys drop him off at like 9 a.m., pick him up at 3 type of a thing,
Yeah.
or is it half day?
No, 8:15 to 3.
How is that gonna change your guys' life? Just curious. Like Betty's still gonna have to be home with Zila.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's, free to go to work all of a sudden.
No.
But how does that actually change things for you guys?
So it's gonna help a lot actually, because so Betty's not gonna have to and there's gonna be days where he's off, school's out, he's sick, because a lot of kids when they first start school get sick a lot. Because they're exposed to germs. I think he's going to be fine because he eats loose our dog's shit. So he's pretty solid there, I think, with his immune system. He had COVID twice, I think, and he was sick for 10 minutes and then he was fine.
Doesn't he eat chigifte on Saturday nights with Bayamo?
Yeah. So I think he's going to be fine there. How it's going to help is Betty could spend more quality time with Zila and not have to juggle 2 kids, right? How it's going to help me is I get to go drop him off early, go to work, not worry about shit, I left Betty with 2 kids at home.
It's completely manageable.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. This is exciting.
It's tough, man. 1 kid is very, very difficult. 2, and I know people have 3, 4, 5, 6. God bless them. It consumes everything, man. It's crazy. I don't know how some people, single moms, do it. Just have no clue. Incredible, right? Couples who have shitty relationships. We have a good relationship, and it's it pushes you, because the kids are going to push you, man. Leo pushes your boundaries. He was punching me at Target for 2 minutes and he wouldn't stop. So I came home. I was fucking pissed because he's punching me in the face and he's laughing while he's doing it. So it's he doesn't feel bad. He's just laughing at your face while he's punching you.
Menace.
Yeah, and I'm it's all in my head now. I'm this kid's fucking with me. I can't take it. I come home, I'm Leo's in timeout. That's it. And he's Mama, hi. It's no, Betty, don't talk to him. So
you don't talk, but she's he's so cute. I love that little shit so much, man.
So I'm just they push you, man. Your patience, they teach you a lot, dude, about yourself, man. They teach you you learn so much about yourself, because you see yourself, you're why am I getting mad that he doesn't want to eat this piece of shit thing I'm giving him right now? Us as parents, we get so mad. Get. Our parents used to do it. Now we're doing it to them. And it's he's just I don't want to eat.
Yeah, leave me alone. Tell me a little bit about work though. Do you think that this is going to have any sort of, do you think that having 2 kids now is going to have any sort of impact on your momentum or the speed at which you're working? Do you think that this at all is affecting anything? And not that it's a bad thing. You'd almost sort of expect it. You don't have sort of the same um you don't have the same flexibility that you do when you don't have kids.
No.
But does this affect anything for you in terms of? I know a lot of real estate businesses conducted on the phone, and like you just sit, plop down, and just take out your laptop and write a contract up. But I know that a lot of it is being able to get up, get in the car, and show a house. So how does this change things for you, Sean? Are you sort of, do you have things going through your mind? Any sort of hesitations? Do you not take appointments as much anymore?
It's tough, man. It definitely is impacting me, right? I'm sure there's people who handle it probably a lot better. So a couple things, right? One is it's still brand new, right? And we got to come up with a system at home and all this stuff. And Betty's still recovering from major surgery. It takes about 2 months for her to fully recover.
Oh.
So like I have to be, you know, empathetic to that, right? I feel bad when I leave the house. The good thing is Betty's mom is staying with us for now, right? Until she goes back home. But it's like baby's crying, Leo's throwing shit at the TV, right? And it's like, all right, see you guys later. You know, like it's not a good feeling, right? So
you feel weird. You feel guilty, basically,
yeah,
when you leave the house.
Yeah, I do.
Does she tell you it's cool, leave, don't worry?
Yeah.
But you still feel guilty.
Yeah, because it's like she doesn't want to be like, where are you going? You know, like she knows, but it's like she's not gonna, in her mind, she's like, shit, I probably wish he could stay, right? So it makes you feel guilty. So I'm kind of like not going hard right now. I'm kind of taking it easy, kind of trying to get home earlier. And when he's back in school, when he starts school, I mean, I told her like August, I'm probably going to have to go hard. So by August, we'll have a system in place. We'll have stuff in order. The baby will be like, Betty will be sleeping at night because hopefully the baby will be a little bit better. So at some point I have to be like, all right, I got to get to it.
So when you say go hard, you're hoping that by Leo going to school and Betty being able to sort of manage one child on her own, you'll be able to sort of go back to old Shant.
Yeah.
This is exciting, huh? It's almost like you have another job. You have another sort of challenge put in front of you, is making this all work at the same level as before, if not more than what you were doing before, right?
Yeah, it's more because, you know, Betty's not working, right? So it's less money there. Now we got to pay for insurance, which is expensive for a family.
Carvana, did you hear about Carvana? They're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, they're not doing too well. The stock went down pretty significantly.
Yeah, it's not looking too pretty. A lot of things are upside down in this whole.
Yeah, and I think we should talk about that maybe next episode, like what's going on with the all this stuff. So then you have Leo's school, right? It's going to be another $1,200 a month. She's going to start school in a year or so, right? Like it starts adding up. So it's like, shit, I have to get out there and not make the same, but more to live evenly, right? So what that means is when I'm out of the house, I have to be more intentional with my time, right? I can't just be dicking around. I have to actually like be super clear with my time, my schedule. So that's going to be the biggest thing that I have to do.
Do you procrastinate at all?
Yeah.
Like, do you pull up sometimes somewhere and just take a spin around the block, or just park in the parking lot, stay in the car for like 10 minutes? How do you procrastinate? What's your procrastination like?
Yeah, a couple of those, right?
Like today, it took me 20 minutes to get out of the car at the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah. It happens. Yeah. It happened to me when I get to the office. I pull up, I just sit in the car for like 10 minutes, like finish watching a podcast or something. But I'm like, I could literally list like just sitting there. And it's not that like I don't want to start my day. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm trying to cut it out. I deleted Facebook and Instagram off my phone.
I gotta get to that. Why did you? Can you tell me the exact reason why you
Yeah.
did that?
Yeah. I woke up 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I just started scrolling Instagram.
Doom scroll. You did a doom scroll.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, the fuck am I looking at? Like just scrolling. And it was like, I got up at 6. It was like 6:20. I get out of bed. I'm like,
You did 20 minutes of scrolling.
yeah. And then by the time I'm done, brush my teeth, wash my face, drink water, put my coffee on, Leo's awake. So I'm like, fuck. Cause I usually try to get up before him to get my stuff done. I do my journaling. I read a little bit in the morning. So I'm just like, the fuck am I doing, man? Like, so I just right then and there deleted both. I'll download it to post something and then I'll just delete it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm finding that any free time that I actually have, I'm filling it with scrolling as opposed to like doing some sort of like important thing, texting somebody back something important, checking an email. It's just like, why am I scrolling right now?
yeah.
Like, why
You
is
know
this a thing?
what I've noticed for the first week of me deleting it, I would go into my phone and like scroll through where my apps, Instagram and Facebook would be, and it wasn't there. But I kept doing it like 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times a day. I'll just sitting here, just open my phone and go to where it was. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
So let's talk a little bit. Let's expand on that a little bit. So if I were to go through your Instagram right now, your explore page, what would I see?
It would it's all basketball.
It's all basketball. That is
Yeah.
fucking awesome. It's been all basketball for you since fucking 5 years old, and it hasn't changed.
No. And what I was doing, which was funny, which Leo, me and what a weird, I don't do it now because I don't have Instagram on my phone. I watch basketball training videos and Leo will sit on my lap, watch with me for like 10 minutes. He's just watching basketball training videos and he just goes, ball, ball, ball. And then the guy shoots it. He's like, whew, whew. Like he's just making the noises while they're doing it. So that to me was like life, right? That's what's yours?
My explore page, combination of a few different things. So a lot of it right now is weightlifting stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like there's old timer pictures of like Arnold Schwarzenegger and like the other bodybuilders. We got a lot of Ferraris.
Okay.
And we got a lot of kebab and kunefe.
Oh, wow.
Specifically, the type of kunefe that I'm talking about is the one that they do, that they cut into squares, scoop it up, put it in the bread, and then they put the syrup on it. Basically, they give you a sandwich kunefe, the 2,000 calorie kunefe.
For dessert.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd.
Oh,
basically, this place called C-Suite in Lebanon is known for this, but they do it everywhere. Like Turks are known for doing this really, really well too. Anyway, long story short, we got a lot of bodybuilding right now. We got a lot of sports cars, kebab, and kunefe.
Wow.
This is all I see on my Insta. But this is the whole premise of scrolling, of doom scrolling, I found out, is just, it's all just a dopamine hit that we need.
Yep.
So if the problem is that we've become so like dependent on this. Why do I need this like every few minutes? I don't.
No.
So I think that we've become so dependent on having that dopamine that now just sitting down and just not doing anything is extremely boring. It's extremely understimulating.
Yeah.
But this is normal shit. So I think it's just getting reaccustomed to that. And I think that a lot of, I've told you this in a separate episode, but I think that a lot of people are trying to go back to those days again, bro. This just doesn't feel natural anymore.
Yeah, man. So kind of an acquaintance of mine, he's a really big investor out here. He because the dopamine, that having a lot of things, right? Like this is the lifestyle we're living in here in America now. He made it a thing where he only has, let me see, because I saved it somewhere. I want to say, okay, 29 items.
29 items.
Like underwear, socks, shoes, clothes. 29.
29 articles total, as in including all of his clothes.
Yep.
Does he have a cell phone?
Yes.
I wonder how many apps he has.
Well, no, not like just like, yeah, and like clothes wise. So he has like one pair of sneakers, one sandal, shorts, socks, and 29 items. That's it. And
that is absurd.
He's just go to 30, bro. Like, let's go one more.
Big deal if it's 35. Like, it's still
no,
long.
but it's the point. It's like trying to really, like, do we need all these things? Do I need 17 pairs of socks? Probably not.
Not to get super deep all of a sudden, but I was listening to Viktor Frankl's. Have you ever heard of Viktor Frankl?
No.
So he is a survivor of the Holocaust.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. He wrote this book, and half of the book is about him going through the concentration camps. And he would talk about how like people came in as like doctors or like laborers or like whatever. And some of them came in, one with his head held up high, the other one just as like a peasant, whatever. They all got stripped down naked, and all of a sudden they were the same exact person. And they were talking about in the concentration camp how you're obviously at this point your possessions are not defining you. It's about what you're possessing in your mind that's defining you, and what you know to be true that you still have, even though you don't currently possess it. As in, I don't have my cash on me. I don't have any cash. I don't have any possessions. But I know that I've got an amazing family waiting for me when I get out of this concentration camp. And these were the possessions that were keeping them alive.
Yeah.
As in, if I were to come and remove all the possessions from you right now, do you possess anything non-material that would keep you hopeful about your life if I were to strip you of your possessions?
Yeah, 100%.
So I just found it very, very interesting that you're talking about this right now, and
Very
I was
similar,
just listening to that.
Yeah, that's pretty deep, man. Yeah, I don't know where we led to with this conversation, but I think
Shant, it's all about how you're managing getting up, managing your time, not doom scrolling, not having all these distractions and possessions. And this is what you were talking about. And do you think that Leo is starting to, you were talking about earlier how you stopped scrolling when Leo's around. I think in like the previous episode, you were talking about how you don't use your phone now in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well,
this
he tries to scroll on my watch. So
he knows the movements.
Yeah, and he fucking kid. But yeah, it's because what I do is what he's gonna do, right?
Does he really take after you? Like, does he try to like do whatever you do?
Yeah, so like he flexes a lot. He grunts at me, right? When like it's weird. He knows when I come home from the gym or something. Like I'll take my shirt off. He's like, right? He starts doing that. Yeah, he has. It's weird, man. Like I know it's weird to say, and it's like thing, but he really looks up to me. It's crazy, and he really sees how I act, and I think like dads have a huge impact on their sons, right, and daughters too, of course. But you know, it's they need a father figure, man, and it's like he looks at everything I do. So I have to be really careful. Like Betty's been telling me, like, say please and thank you more, right? Like Betty gives me something, like she knows it, like I'm saying thank you in my mind, but she's like, oh, say thank you, you know, like so he could start seeing these things to treat women right. Not that I'm treating Betty wrong, but it's like now it also shows our daughter how a woman should be treated.
This is super important, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll be brutally, I'll lay this out brutally honest with you. The way that my dad reacts to criticism, I've taken a similar reaction to it, and he doesn't react to criticism very well. He gets very, very like reactive, like defensive reactive, and that's how I am. And this is something that I've learned from my father.
Yeah.
So I got to work on a ton of different of my like quick reactions. Sorry about that. Before I have a kid, so that they don't take after, because perfect example, like I took after my father in a lot of the different ways that that he'll come across in conversation. So bro, you nailed it. You hit it right on the head. She has a point. You know, this is all stuff that boys learn from their fathers. They don't learn this from their mothers.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because he tries to climb up slides, right? Like very difficult slides. Like, you know, you're supposed to go down. He tries to go up, right? And he doesn't want help. Like, you know, I'll be like, oh, let me help you up. He doesn't want help. He wants to do it himself. So one time he was doing it, he slid down, he turned, he flipped, he fell, he hurt his knee, right? First thing he did is he looked at me. So he's trying to see how I'm reacting, right? Now, in my head, do I be compassionate and be like, oh my God, like, are you okay? Do I say, toughen up, right? It's very difficult. Like, I don't know what the right answer is.
What do you think is the right answer?
Well, so what I did was I didn't have an emotion of like, oh my God, are you okay? To give him the victim mentality, right? I said, come here. You know, he's still like not even 2. I said, just come here. So he walked over, kind of thing, kind of fake limp, you know, like he's trying to fake limp a little bit. I was like, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm like, just come here, man. Sit on, put him on my lap. I was like, what hurt? Where is it? Let me see. And then he points to his knee. I'm like I rubbed it. I'm like, all right, you're good. And he goes, and he just runs. You know, I don't know if that's the right thing, the wrong thing, but all these little things matter, bro. Like he's developing who he's going to be right now. So I could be like, hey, toughen up, man. Don't be a little girl. That's going to kill him probably over time.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't think that's the best idea. I think that will cause a lot of repressed emotion.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly just leaving it up to him to decide how he feels.
Yeah. Does it hurt? All right.
Yeah.
All right,
like what is it? Does it hurt? Does it hurt? It hurt. Probably hurts. You fell. You know, like, tell me it's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just mainly just letting him know that it's okay to to decide how you feel.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Right. That's a good point, man. Um, give the power to him, right? Not to me.
Yeah.
So he's always like, what's dad gonna think? You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting, man. It's you have to be on your A game at all times, and you can't sometimes, right? Sometimes, like when he's punching me in the face, I'm like,
you know who struck me as really really having like a good, it seemed like a really really good confidence to them, and like knowing how they feel and knowing what they want was we have a cousin. His name is Zorab. He lives in Los Angeles. He has a kid. So they were here last week. They were visiting, and he was sitting right next to me. The kid, Zorab's kid. He's about 5 or 6 years old, and he goes, "I want ice cream," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Which one?" He goes, "The white one." I'm like, "Okay." And I go and I take it. He goes, no, there's chocolate on it. I don't want that. Because there was chocolate on the spoon, you know? And like the way that he was interacting with his other little cousins, it was just like he knew how he felt. He knew he didn't want to be around something. He would go and he would tell his mother how he was feeling. He was just very, very just he was able to explain exactly how he was feeling and what he wanted to a complete stranger. He didn't have to just turn and whisper to his mom and say, "I want ice cream."
Which
he asked the complete stranger, "I want that ice cream, and I don't want you to use that spoon when you give it to me." You know, it was just like, holy shit.
Finally. Which we would, back in the day, would be like, "Mom, I see."
Yeah, it would be very embarrassing.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's freaking great. And we're trying to give that with Leo. It's like we give him options, right? Which is weird. He can't speak yet. Like he doesn't fucking speak. We're like, okay, do you want this or this? Not like, okay, have this. And then he goes, or he goes to both, and he points somewhere else. Or he grabs my hand, he walks me to the pantry. He goes, right there. Like, okay.
Yeah, like, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, making decisions.
Yeah, so we want to give him decisions. We want him to pick his own shit. It's obviously when he picks ice cream for breakfast, it's not going to work, right? But it's tough, man. I'm interested to see, like, when you have kids, you know, God willing, hopefully soon. Well, you know, not now, the second, but whenever it is, because it's a trip, man. It's a trip.
Yeah, I gotta watch them. I gotta watch when I have kids. I gotta watch them around all like the uncles, the ammos. Make sure they're not getting any bad advice. You know, toughen up, this and that. I want my kid to just know it's okay to feel however they're feeling. If they're pissed off, it's okay. Be fucking pissed off. Let it out. Don't keep it in. You know, like, just, it's okay. You know, get pissed off. Just don't come in my face. Fucking go over there and get pissed off.
Yeah, that's what we do. Like when Leo has a tantrum, I'm like, it's okay, man. Like, let it out, bro. Like, I tell Betty, like, leave him be, man. Like, let him just experience it. Like,
100%. Because then he's just gonna, if you don't let him have the tantrum, he's gonna be walking around all pissed off at you, holding it in, like looking at you like you're fucking you're a monster, you know?
Yeah, you never know what you're doing, right, man? It's just having the right partnership is super important, dude. And the right person, the same values, same stuff, right? Like you have to be on the same page, dude, because you can't have two different messages. If you have two different messages, it's going to confuse the kids, right? They're going to be like, oh, this, that. I know we've talked about this, and I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to, because I know we've talked about marriage and your spouse and how to pick, right? Because me and Betty had an hour conversation the other night, dude. Like, how the fuck did we end up together and it worked out. Like we didn't, like if I was going to get married now, I'd ask a lot of like qualifying questions. I'd want to know like their values, their principles, like what are their core beliefs. We didn't ask any of that stuff, right? None of it. Like
You guys just felt it.
She was really good looking, man. And I was just like, yeah, like, why not?
And it all just worked out.
Well, and I asked her, I'm like, why though? She's like, we're soulmates. I'm like, no. Like, no, that's a bullshit answer. Like, why did it work out? Like, why is it still going strong? And she's like, because we've both changed too. Like, I am not the same person. And usually people change. And the biggest complaint is, oh, you've changed. You're not the same person anymore. I married someone else, right? We've both changed. And it's like, so we've both changed and we've both grown as people, and we've intentionally tried to grow as people, right? So like, if I still stayed with my same mindset, this would be a terrible marriage probably for Betty, right? So like I've had to grow, she had to grow. And we were both have been trying to be better, right, at what we do. So not just the status quo of like, all right, we're married. All right, that's it. We're stuck with each other. The other thing is we both value the meaning of marriage, where it's like, we're in this forever. So we might as well figure it out together. Right. I think that's one thing a lot of people miss. It's like, well, didn't work out. Let's just get a divorce. Like, I'm a very consistent person. So it's like, I'm not going to give up. Like we both have been working at it together, because to us, it's like marriage is forever. Right. That's one. The other is like, we've both had to, it's not happy wife, happy life. We both have sacrificed. We both have given in. She's compromised. It's sometimes my way or the highway. Sometimes it's her way or the highway. So we've both have like meshed in that sense where it's like, she's really fucking wrong right now, but okay, let's rock with it. You're wrong.
Sometimes you're just,
and she's done it too. And it's just the point of both of us. And it's so weird that we've both just, I think, committed to the process of marriage and trying to be better as people is what's helped, right? Because at 26, 27, 28, 29, if I was the same person right now, I'm telling you, it would not work.
I think that the key to your marriage is your having stayed consistently trying to reach certain goals, and the fact that you guys have shared goals that you guys are working on together. I think that is that's a really good thing to have in a marriage.
And the other thing for the Armenian community, which is the most difficult for a couple, nobody gets in our fucking business. Like, this is not the Orink says this, this is what the Orink, okay, the Orink stops in this house. Like, it doesn't penetrate this house. It's what me and Betty, and we've both done a sick job of like not allowing, because our parents don't mean anything bad by anything, right? They never mean bad. They're just have their ways of doing things. So us as kids, oh, well, this is the way, it's our family, it's our culture. It's like, no, we're doing it our way. Like nothing. And that's the biggest thing where a lot of marriages kind of thing. It's the outside influence gets into the relationship.
Yeah.
That is never.
We're putting a little bit too much value on that.
Yeah. It's just, and I've told Betty this, it's me and her, then everyone else matters. Me and her first. Even with the kids. Because if we're not like this, kids suffer, family suffer. So no one penetrates our thing. Everyone has an opinion. Oh, you should name him, like your dad's name. or your uncle, your grandpa Tavi, blah blah blah. Like, no. This is Shant and Betty's decision, and that's what's kept us super close, I think.
Very respectable. Yeah, I it sucks because that makes up maybe like a fraction of Armenian guys and girls.
Yeah.
That mindset of not caring so much about what the rules say.
Yeah, because for Zila's baptism, my parents were like, Tavid has to be the godfather. I was like, why? They're like, it's the Orink. I was like, huh, sucks for Tavid.
You know,
I don't know. I was like, sucks for Tavid.
Well, you guys don't want to do that. Why? Because God forbid one godfather goes missing.
No, I just feel like I just want different. It has nothing to do with like, we want the most important people in our lives to be involved in it, right? So Tavi was involved with Leo. You or your brother, you guys are, hopefully we have 3 kids one day, because you 3 are the most important closest people in my life.
Oh,
it is, right? So it's like,
fam.
Yeah. So it's like, should Tavi get all the love? Fuck Tavi. No. Imagine.
I was about to say, I love you, Tav.
Sorry if you're listening, bro. And then I told Tavi about it. I'm like, Mom's mad that you're not godfather. He's like, who gives a shit, bro? He's like, why would I be the godparent again? He's like, no.
He looked good in that Christ jumpsuit that they made him wear. In that Nike Derad outfit.
Under Armour. So that's the biggest thing I'll say is like, don't conform unless it's something you and your spouse really believe in and feel like, hey, this is what just don't do it because it's the rule. Do it because you guys want to do it. That's the biggest takeaway of our almost 10 years of marriage. It's like, we're not like, oh, anti-Armenian culture. No way. But if something doesn't make sense, we're not going to do it because someone did it in 1925 in Haleb. Like,
that's when the rules were established. It was about roughly around 1927.
I wonder who the founder was of these rules.
So the very first shirket held in Norrkirch, and
you know what I'm talking about, bro.
Of course,
you're gonna experience it too.
Well, regardless, I think you guys are definitely on the right path. Just even thinking about how to react in case of these sort of situations is definitely good to be a little bit thoughtful of that, realizing that maybe the way that some Armenian parents have approached it was completely fucked up.
Well, not even that. They grew up in a different era, in a different country, in a different world, bro.
Like they survived genocide. I get it. But, I'm not trying to continue reliving that trauma from generation to generation. Just maybe normalize the way that you raise your kids now. Not you should just fucking toughen up. What would you do if we had another genocide? No, it's not, don't prepare them for genocide. Prepare them for just to live life, I guess.
Growth, be a leader, learn something.
Fucking trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway. All right. Good stuff. Looking forward to next week's podcast. Talk a little bit about Carvana, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in this economy. It's kind of weird, no?
A lot of weird shit happening, bro. Gas prices, car prices, interest rates. Let's bring up everything that we know about and where we see it going. I can tell you a little bit about car prices. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about interest rates and real estate. Maybe we can talk a little bit about stocks. I don't know if you're into stocks at all, but apparently right now is a really, really good time to
And
be
crypto,
investing.
because I lost a lot of crypto money. So
Don't worry. Stay where you are. You know what happens. You
yeah,
know
you
what takes place.
just gotta hold. Yeah, let's talk about that next week, man. It'll be good. All right, gotta go take care of the line.
All right, amigo. Good night, Shant.
Good night, everyone.